Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the January 9th, 2025 ESS Finance Subcommittee meeting. We will go ahead and start with the December 5th summary of subcommittee action, our minutes from our last meeting on December 5th. I did find one typo. Mileage is spelled wrong. That's just really the only thing that I noticed, but anyone else have any comments or questions regarding the minutes? Everyone had a chance to look them over. If not, I would take a motion for approval with that correction, just with this mileage. It says millage, but it could be millage, but I think it's mileage. So if I have a motion to accept with that one little change.
This is Sherry. I also move.
Thanks, Sherry. Do I have a second?
This is Geraldine. I'll second.
Thanks, Geraldine. Been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thanks, guys. Next, we'll move on to the January summary of December ESS payments. Oh, no, accounts receivable. I'm sorry. Keep me in order, guys. Lisa Long.
There's nothing outstanding at the end of December. It's a beautiful thing.
We like to hear that, right?
Right?
Yeah.
I think I actually
job.
said woohoo when I saw that.
Right?
Good job, everybody.
I hate chasing down money, so it's good.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, now I'm sorry. Now we'll go on to the January summary of December ESS payments with Samantha.
Not a lot highlighted for December. I did highlight the Light Edge Solutions bill only because it did increase just a little bit. We had some change of some subscriptions, I guess, around. So just a little bit of a change. I think it was 7,981.25 before, so not much there, but I thought I'd just point that out. Everything else is pretty normal that you see month to month. For the credit card transactions, let me move my screen over here a little bit. Oops. All right, so for the credit card transactions, the Zoom annual bill did hit at $859.90. And then you'll see the SurveyMonkey 1-year subscription highlighted again. We were charged $954 in November, and that included tax. So they did refund us for that. And then the normal bill without tax came in at $900. The annual bill for the Microsoft came in at $96. That's in addition to the monthly price of $112.50. And then also the annual bill for Gravity Forms came in at $259. I'd be happy to answer any questions with the December payments.
I would just like to add one comment. If you go back to the Light Edge bill, so the actual change is bigger than reflected in the change in the bill, and what we have been doing, Kelly and I have been working with the Light Edge team, and when we set up the original agreement, we set it up with projections about how much storage we would need for production, how much storage we would need for backup. And then we had to use some additional storage space during the transition just to be able to move data from one part to another. And then over the course of several months, Kelly has been working to reconfigure that. And after the reconfiguration was done, we were using more storage in one area and less storage in another. And just trying to make sure that we were square with Light Edge, what we said is, what we'd like to do is change our agreement so that the agreement reflects what we're actually using. And they did that. And we actually were able to work the math out, so it was just really a few cents difference. So behind the scenes, there was a bigger change that led to needing to change the master agreement, and then that needed to be reflected in the bill. So everything there was square. And I think I've shared this with the subcommittee before that this is an ongoing thing. So we have an ongoing agreement with LightEdge to provide these cloud services for the operation of our system. And as we go forward, we know that there are going to be some things that change. So, every month that passes, we're using more storage space because we've got more records, and there will be adjustments going forward. So I just don't want anybody to think, okay, we're set. This is never going to change. It's an ongoing configuration process, and what we're going to try to do is manage it so that it's very stable. But I don't want anybody to think, hey, this is never going to change, because it is a dynamic thing. And as we continue to grow, as our data continues to grow, and then also there are going to be cost increases. LightEdge has inflation too. Electricity costs are going to change. There are variables here. In the final analysis, though, our experience with LightEdge is showing that uh, we made a good decision, that we're going to have more predictable and manageable ongoing operational costs at our data center than we would have if we had continued to operate on our own equipment. We're sure of that. So just a little background on one small change in the bill, a lot more going on behind the scenes, and I want to make sure everybody's aware of that. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from the group, guys? If not, I would take a motion for approval. I'll go ahead and motion. This is Stacy. Do I have a second?
Second, Susan Smith.
Thanks, Susan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, now we'll go on to the January Fund 255 reimbursement invoice with Samantha.
Okay. Fund 255 invoice came out to be $43,094.67 for the month of December. For the month of January for December's payroll. We did only have the 2 payroll periods in the month of December. As you can see, our payroll is higher than what we are receiving from the state treasurer. But I'd be happy to answer any questions. Otherwise, I would ask for your acceptance and approval to submit this to the state treasurer's office.
I do wish to add a supplementary comment here as
Oh,
well, just for
go ahead, Tom.
background, if you don't mind.
No.
And that is that, as you know, in the fee policy proposal, as we were preparing that, we approached the state treasurer's office to seek a discussion with them about some alternatives. One would be to follow a pattern that's similar to what we do today, where we submit request for reimbursement and draw down funds from what is known as Fund 255. The other option that we explored was to say, we've been doing this for 20 years. The reasons for doing it the way we have been really don't exist anymore. We get audited every year. We're fairly transparent about how we work. Maybe it would be more efficient if we just, had the counties distribute the money directly to ESS. In the end, they were very reticent about taking a position one way or the other. With the help of Bob Rafferty, there were some behind the scenes conversations about that. And the reason that we really weren't able to communicate with them after those initial conversations is that they really didn't want to take a position. So the way the proposal is structured right now is to change this so that counties on a monthly basis would distribute the funds from what the fee would be, currently $1, proposed to be $3 as the allocation, and those would go directly into ESS, and Samantha would deposit them, okay? And the treasurer wouldn't be involved. So if that were to be approved, then we wouldn't be doing this anymore.
No.
So that is just something that you may wish to have as background, and that's all it is. So stay tuned. We'll see what happens.
Right. So really, we're just talking about the state treasurer, not like our county treasurer. So
Right.
just, it's
Correct.
just, yeah, just a kind of
Right.
clarification that we
Uh,
wouldn't
this-
have to, we don't need that extra step. Like when,
Right.
after we pay our our county treasurer, they push it to the state treasurer to put into Fund 255.
Right.
That would
So,
then go away.
So the county treasurers would still be the ones that would be disseminating, the money to the ESS, and process very similar to what they do today. They would just be distributing it to a different location. So the change I'm talking about really primarily affects the state treasurer's office.
Anybody
Thank-
have any questions about that? Or comments? If not, I would take a motion for the Fund 255 reimbursement invoice.
This is Gerald, and I'll make that motion.
Thanks, Geraldine. Do I have a second?
This is Sherry. I'll second.
Thanks, Sherry. Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Oh, I'm sorry. Pardon me. Opposed,
Aye.
same sign. I think I'm going too fast. Motion carries. Move on to the November 2024 financial reports with Samantha.
Okay. Bankers Trust checking account did come in at $0. This is because of the money market sweep account move that we made in November, the last week of November, I believe it was set up. We were successfully able to reconcile that back down to $0. The money market sweep account statement. So we had an ending balance of $1,113,330.92. So what happens here is all of our money is kept in this money market sweep account. And as our distributions are higher than our deposits every day, money goes into the checking account to cover those. If our money coming in, our deposits coming in are higher than what we're distributing that day, money goes out of the checking account and is kept in the sweep account, and we earn interest at everything that is kept in the sweep account. So you can kind of see here, like on the 26th, money went into the checking account, 27th, money went into the checking account. On the 22nd, money came into the sweep account, and this just happens every day. We don't have to initiate it. It's an automatic process. And so for the month of November, I'm sorry, we only had 8 days. And so for the month of November, with those 8 days, we earned $299.56. The annual percentage did drop from when we originally had signed up. When we originally signed up, it was 1.8% earnings. It has dropped because of the market to 1.3. We were able to successfully reconcile that sweep account. The drawdown account. November profit and loss. So the money market income, interest income, you can see up here at $299.56. Bad payment fees, we did have a couple chargebacks in the month of November, so we did earn $140. But we are also charged back from Professional Solutions for this, so this is actually a wash with what they charge us back. But we are, carrying that on and giving that to the customer for charging us back. Budgeted income came in at $134,780.06. With revolving income of $2,927,620.06, with total income of $3,062,400.12. Expenses for the month of November. I have the bookkeeping, all of the payroll amounts here highlighted because we did have 3 payroll periods in the month of November, so that's an extra almost $30,000 in expenses. with that extra payroll period. The bank analysis fee with those only 8 days within the money market, we still had to pay $994.53. But that offsets a little bit with that $299.56. So really, we only had to pay about $600, and that's already down from what we were paying. So we were paying about $900 before, but now it's down to about $600. So hoping, and I expect for the month of December, I don't think our bank analysis fee is hit until next week, but I'm expecting it to be pretty even though our percentage of interest income did drop a little bit. Memberships, I have highlighted here for $4,000. This is the MISMO membership that we renewed in the month of November. And then conferences and meetings, I believe these are the PRIA membership and meeting registrations that we did for 2025, but we renewed them in 2004. The DB2 and the I believe it was the SUSI membership, we did move back to the balance sheet. So you'll see it down here coming out of the reserve, and then we just moved it back to the balance sheet for the month of November. Budgeted expenses came out at $173,470.60. With revolving expenses at $2,928,315.39, with the total expenses for the month of November at $3,110,469.31, with a net income of negative $48,069.19. The budgeted profit and loss only. So we still have that budgeted income at $134,480.50, with budgeted expenses at $173,470.60, with negative net income of $38,990.10. So this has included that extra payroll period, as well as moving those two revolving expenses back to the profit and loss, or budgeted income, sorry. Yeah. Balance sheet for the month of November. So the BT says here that we have $230,543.47. That's because we are accrual-based accounting. In the bank, we actually have $0 in our checking account. And then you'll see below here the $1,113,330.92. That's the money that's actually in the sweep account. So this amount will always show what is actually in it at the end of the month. This one's going to be higher because we are accrual-based accounting. Assets and liabilities came in at $2,531,879.13. I did include the journal entries for November and December here. Moving the DB2 expense and then also the SUSI expense back to the profit and loss statement. And then you'll see the depreciation at the top. And then the start of our money market sweep account. So at first, we put in all of the money that we had on the 22nd of November. And then it just shows the money coming in and out of the account every day. And then I won't cover all of these, but this is the same thing, the depreciation at the top, and then the money coming in and out of the money market sweep account every single day.
I appreciate you including those.
Yeah. On the credit card statement, the beginning balance was $1,632.78, with the ending balance of $3,917.99. We were able to successfully reconcile the credit card account. Fund 255 with an ending balance of $206,309.01. We didn't have any distributions in that month. I believe the invoice was submitted a little bit later than normal. With the total receipts of $43,094.67, which matches the Fund 255 invoice that we previously covered. We were able to successfully reconcile the Fund 255 account. Profit and loss for the Fund 255 account. And the balance sheet for the Fund 255 account at $158,631.30. I'd be happy to answer any questions for the November financials.
Anyone have any questions or comments?
I appreciate all the explanations. Thanks, Samantha.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. Anyone else have any comments? Yeah, Mel said in the chat, yes, thank you. So, well, hearing none, I would take a motion for the November 2024 financial reports. Somebody want to make a motion?
This is Melissa. I can move to approve.
Thanks, Mel. Do I have a second?
This is Sharon.
Amy. Oh,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, Amy
Go
beat
ahead.
you to it. Welcome, Amy. Amy in the chat pod seconded. So we got Amy. Amy, you're in the minutes now. And Susan echoed that the explanation is awesome. So yeah. So it's been moved and seconded to approve the November 2024 financial reports. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Amy from the chat pod, aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, we'll move on to the ESS financial and strategic review. Is that you, Phil? I
Yeah.
assume it's you, Phil.
Yeah, and basically, just to show you the metrics, most recent metrics report, and the line you want to be looking at is the blue line or the aqua line, and for 2024. And I guess I just would report to you that, it has been good to see that in October, November, and December, that we have been exceeding the numbers for 2022 and 2023. We're not quite back up to that 2021 level, but it's just good to see that trend. What we think we saw in December was a burst of energy related to individual transactions. It did exceed our expectations. We were hoping for it to again be above 22 and 23. It exceeded that. Now, what we're seeing so far, and I know we're only 9 days into January, but things have slowed down a little bit. We're not seeing that energy in transactions. So, we have to just kind of balance this out. Generally speaking, though, when we get to doing the December financials at your next meeting and then looking at the year-to-date reports, it bodes well for us to kind of ending the year on a positive note. And when we get to the February meeting, we still have some objectives that we want to achieve. Um, I'm not trying to say this is the most important thing, but we kind of want to get Nancy back to full time if we can. There are some just adjustments that we would like to make in terms of our team. I'm not sure we're going to be in a position to do that. It just depends on what the trend line is. I hate to base it only on 1 month, but I don't think we can put too much stock that what happened in the last quarter, what is happening in October, November, and December. I can't put too much stock to say, hey, that very positive trend line is going to carry over. There's still a lot of uncertainty in the marketplace, so we'll be taking a very close look at the January numbers as they proceed. I just want to say there's a possibility that we might make a few budget adjustments at the February meeting, but I don't anticipate any big adjustments. We just aren't that deep into the year. So um, we are, from a strategic perspective, sort of in kind of a maintenance mode, holding pattern with our existing structure, and we'll just have to see how it goes. The opportunity to do something in a meaningful way in terms of, investing more in our software and our applications to improve them and maybe create some new tools such as a notification system. That really is dependent upon what happens in the legislature. And then that just kind of prompts me to skip down to the recording fees and modernization update. Obviously, the legislature returns to town on Monday. Stacy, Bob, Nick, Stensis, they've all been working really very hard. Megan, to communicate and encourage all recorders to communicate with their legislators. And generally speaking, that is going well and as expected. Without getting into details, I would just say there are some expected headwinds that we're running into. And part of that is just because, there are some dissenting voices out there, and we're going to have to answer those questions and work through it. But the majority of the recorders seem to be on board, positive, communicating with their legislators. The bill is in process in the Legislative Services Agency. We don't have an official study bill yet, but we anticipate that. And we're meeting with legislative staff and communicating with them even before the session starts. So um, uh, whatever your superstition is, fingers crossed or whatever, be doing that because we'll see what happens here very early in the legislative session. Then we're going to be having a standard subcommittee meeting coming up on January 23rd. If you're interested, you might want to tune into that because we're going to be giving a much more thorough update on the bill, some tweaks and modifications that may come out of early discussions with legislators, and I think it would be very informative. We're going to kind of dig into the weeds a little bit when we get into the standard subcommittee meeting. So, everybody, don't wait. Join the party. It'll be a Zoom session, and if you want to participate, you can let us know, and we'll get you the credentials to get in. That's really I'm here. The team is here to answer your questions. Samantha already covered the Bankers Trust topic in her financial report presentation. I would just like to add one small commentary, and that is that we have appreciated the assistance that we've received from our Bankers Trust team. The transition to the use of the sweep account has been very smooth. We haven't really run into any issues with that. We wish we had a higher interest rate, but our net income is higher from that than it would have been if we just kept doing things the way we were doing. So I think it was a very useful suggestion that came out in this group's discussion a number of months ago. I don't want to give anybody an impression that that's the end of it. there may be some other alternatives that we can explore. The thing about what we're doing now with the sweep account is, as I've shared with others before and with you, the number one objective that we have to meet is liquidity. We have to be liquid enough to have the appropriate cash flow to get distributions to the counties. It just would be untenable if we had too much money locked up where we couldn't access it. We just have to be in a position to do that. But as we go forward, maybe we can have a little bit more of a reserve, and maybe we can consider other investment choices. But this seems to be the right tool for right now. We've made a step forward, and we'll continue to look at options. So anyway, I appreciate everybody, and Samantha, and myself, Lisa, we're here to answer whatever questions you may have.
Questions from the group at all? I just have one question, and it really doesn't affect a lot of us, but the mileage reimbursement, I know that we increased it to, what was it, 67 cents a mile for, especially like the ESS coordinating committee. You all like to meet in person at least once. Do we follow the IRS mileage guideline, or is that or the ESS coordinating committee, did they vote on the mileage at 67 cents, or do we just follow the IRS?
I think
rate?
we're following, we adapted the IRS policy, so
Okay.
you don't have to take any action to change that. I do think it's a good reminder, thank you, that maybe we should make sure that we are still on target with that, and
Yeah.
we can communicate with you if there have been any changes, but that is where we are at. And the budget you approved for 2025 does reflect that as well. So
Yeah.
I don't think we have to change anything.
Okay, that sounds good. I think the IRS rate went up to 70 cents a mile effective January 1st, and that was for business and self-employed. So I figured we're considered business. But
We
something to think about.
we did choose a particular definition. It's escaping me at the
I
moment,
can't,
but
I just thought I would throw it
so,
out there just to look
yeah,
at that. So,
yeah, we'll take a look at that, make sure
okay.
we're doing the right thing and following the policy that you adopted.
Great. Anyone else have any questions or comments? Just that, Amy, welcome, and Kelly, welcome to the meeting. Amy, Phil talked right before you got here about nominations from respective districts. So thank you for agreeing to serve again. And we've got really the whole team, ESS Finance. Everyone decided to come on for another term. So thank you very much for that. So I would say keep talking to your legislators, talk to your supervisors. We really need the supervisors to start talking to your board of supervisors, to talk to your legislators as well about the fee modernization legislation proposal. So if you have any questions, here to help, here to answer questions. So with that,
Stacy, we would be remiss if we didn't mention that we're going to be issuing a survey update, asking all recorders to give us updated information from calendar year 2024, so that we can update the financial models for the legislative proposals. So everybody be watching for that email, and there will be a link that takes you to a survey monkey survey. We're still making a few fine-tuning adjustments on that, but I'm hoping that we can get it out by tomorrow, and maybe even sooner. But please watch for that, and please do your best to timely respond to that. And if you could share that encouragement with your districts, that would be great too.
yeah. Any other questions or comments from the group? Okay, our next meeting will be February 6th, 2025 at 9 o'clock. As always, thanks to the ILR team for everything. Great job. Have a good day, everybody.
Sure.
All right,
Thank
thank
Stay
you.
warm.
Yeah, yeah. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.